A side raise is a really simple exercise, but sometimes when we're trying to push more weight, our technique can start to suck a little bit. So today we're going to look at doing it in a strict version. So this is a really good way to learn the exercise, or it's a good thing to come back to when we've been doing it for a while and our technique has started to suffer. It's good to just get back to some really strict technique and build up again from here. So the first thing we want to do to get this all nice and strict is we want the weight to go all the way down so that the weight is actually resting against the top of our leg at the bottom of the movement. All right, so just here. So this is going to be our starting point for each rep, and we're going to try and minimize any momentum, right? So I don't want you leaning forward too much. You can see that I'm just gently leaning forward just a tiny bit when I'm doing these here, but maybe even just like an inch. The other thing that I want you to focus on is try and keep your elbow reasonably straight, all right? You can have a slight bend in your elbow, but you want your arm pretty straight, and that will make the exercise much, much harder. Now, if we watch from the side, you're gonna see that there's very little momentum happening in this movement right now. You can see that I'm just dipping forward slightly between reps, but I'm really trying to keep it under control. And the other thing that I want you to look at is my chest position. My chest position is quite high. Right? I don't want you to be leaning forward while you're doing this. Keep a high chest position, and that'll keep a lot of the pressure on the delts. And the last thing that I want to show you is some people find it easier to keep it nice and strict if they do one arm at a time. Doing one arm at a time does take a bit of the difficulty of the technique out of it, and allows you to focus more on getting it right each arm. And just as a guide for the weights that you should be using, I do tend to find that when I do this really strict version, I can't even use like half of the weight that I usually do. So be prepared.